Oh, it's Josh.
Hello, good morning. Is this Josh?
Yes.
I thought you said stash. Sorry. Station manager and I are just kind of a little giddy, but I am really excited to talk to you, Josh.
Thanks for asking. It's exciting for me too. So appreciate it.
You're definitely going to turn my day around. Your band is magnetic. I love. Well, you're like space rock.
Yeah, that some people seem to call it that.
I listened to the full first album, 2005, and then your second album I came across, I believe, was 2012.
The second one is called Ambergris. That one is more like 2007ish, I think, is when it came out.
Oh, I found it here.
The
Okay.
the album 3 is 2012. I'm very bad with time and sequence and such, but yeah, I think it was about 2012 that the album 3 came out, and then 20 October of 2015 we did Shiver of the Flavor Crystals.
And so you kind of got a big boost early on with the Bryan Jamestown Massacre.
Yeah, those guys kind of reached out to us. Actually, we we didn't know a whole lot about them, especially not personally. I think I had one of their first records, but somehow they played in Minneapolis, and the sound guy played our record between between the bands, and they contacted us. There's people like messaging us like, these guys want to talk to you. So yeah, we got to tour with them. We spent basically a full U.S. tour with them. I think that would be 2008, somewhere in there. So that was really exciting for us to get some recognition.
So what are you all doing right now?
Well, we went to Europe this past fall.
Wow.
Played over there in September, and we've kind of been sort of trying to recover from that. I think we're gearing up to make another record. We are going to be playing at an event coming up called Drone Not Drones. That's a 28-hour continuous drone. A friend of ours named Luke Hyken in Minneapolis has been doing that for, I think this is the 4th year. So we've been involved with that. The past couple of years, we've done a fair amount of stuff with Stephen Lowry of the Telescopes, the UK artist. He works with all sorts of different artists, and we did a split single. That's our most recent release, actually, is a split single with the Telescopes, and we were involved with recording his side of the single as well as ours, and we did 2 very extended pieces. That's kind of something we've been wanting to do for a while. So our song, I think, is over 11 minutes long. I think the Telescopes one is close to 15 minutes long.
I'm gonna get that album. What's your longest song, you think?
Wow. There's a couple of them that are up in that range. Actually, most of our songs are kind of, I would call, medium length. They're not top single length, but they're 4 or 5 minutes long. And we don't really, it's not really like, usually it isn't a plan to make a big long song. It's just somehow the way it evolves, it seems to fit, So we're pretty spontaneous about how we put things together, and a lot of our songs are actually just sort of instant compositions that we end up editing a little and polishing up. So we don't really talk about what we're going to do a whole lot. We just see what's there, what we can pull out of the ether.
So now, when I asked you about the whole space rock title, what would you consider? What do you consider the genre?
It's close, I guess. it seems like people kind of throw the psychedelic, the shoegaze, the space rock titles at us. And, we definitely, that was an element that, I think the thing about us is that we don't really, we try not to talk too much about it. We just know if we do something and it's like, yeah, that sounds like us, So defining it's a little tough for me, but I'd like to think that, what we're doing is trying to bring kind of a mellow spontaneity to music, and like maybe how we differ from a lot of other music is that we don't. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but to me, it's kind of almost like a jazz thing, but we're not jazz.
Right.
It's a sense that, we kind of try to be sensitive and kind of telecommunicate with each other without talking too much. We really, if we ever try to talk about what we want to do, it's just a disaster. So it's better to just play. Well, it's something that's about creating an atmosphere and chemistry between the people. And one of the things that I've had to do in order to do that is to really simplify what I do and not play too many notes, or it's like a lot of it's restraining yourself and just letting something happen, not trying to force something to happen.
Sure.
I guess I'm talking more about our creation process than our genre.
No, it's perfect.
Genres are tough. It's tough. Nobody really wants to define themselves.
Sure. Are you still based in Minnesota?
Yeah. The rest of the guys live in Minneapolis. I live in a little smaller town called St. Cloud. I live an hour away from the rest of the band. Yeah, that's probably not going to change.
Do you have, obviously you have the commute then for practice, but do you practice once a week, twice a week?
Pretty much once a week. Yeah. Depending, if we've got something coming up, we might bring it up, or if we're in the middle of recording, we might spend, a little extra time. But yeah, we give each other plenty of space. We've never been, I think the thing with us is that we're very serious about what we do, but there's not like a desperate schedule to adhere to. Give each other a little breathing room to kind of. I think a lot of what you bring to music is everything else you do in your life too. So if all you do is just focus on music, it just starts feeling a little forced, and sometimes other experiences inform what you end up doing. So
right. How do you
kind of enjoy the fact that we don't play 7 days a week or something? I think there's a real burnout factor with that. You kind of lose your perspective.
Are there any things that you choose to spend your time on that kind of like take you away, to give you a break from the music, not so much to kind of like, some people will be like, well, I crochet to kind of help me, my creative process. Like, do you crochet to get away from music?
Oh no, the music is the escape. I think probably the only time I'm really comfortable in my skin. So, but I kind of treasure it and I don't try to do it all the time. I guess I suppose I'm afraid that it wouldn't feel special anymore if I try to do it every minute of the day, or if it's all I thought about, or I guess it's definitely the creative outlet. I guess one thing I'm constantly trying to listen to new music and listen to records, and I collect records like crazy, and it's one of the things. I actually really love radio, and I kind of worried about the fact that people seem to be not treasuring it as much as they should. Like, to me, some of the public stations around here have been really enriching to my musical journey. It's just cool to be surprised and hear something that you didn't know you were going to hear. To me, it's all about like discovery, and I know a lot of people seem to be discovering things through Spotify, but to me it kind of feels like it's like you're going to gravitate towards what you know and what you want, even though you have infinite choices out in front of you. It's not the same as like somebody personally selecting, you know, something they love and sharing with you at just the right moment. And, you know, there's those moments when you turn on the radio and something's just blows your mind, you know, and
right.
I love that. I hope it's here to stay, and hope it kind of actually has a huge resurgence.
Josh, I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm looking forward to see what happens in the future. Are you thinking about doing any tours coming up? Maybe hit us up in Montana. There's a couple cool venues up in this area.
You know, there is a little bit of talk about coming back out west. We've gone to California quite a few times where we fly, but if we could swing it, we would love to come through Montana. That would be great. So that would, it's always a challenge, you know, to find those shows kind of between here and the West Coast. So we would be really pleased to make it out there. Hey, this is Josh from Flavor Crystals, and you're listening to Lorenzo WalkieTalkie at Modern Shout on KBMF 102.5.